Mark Meadows of North Carolina is a member of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. He's joining us now live from Capitol Hill. So, Congressman, what was your biggest concern heading into the hearing? Was it addressed to your satisfaction?
Well, I think our biggest concern, all Americans' concern, is how could this happen? You know, the most elite security force in the world, and yet how can a man get to the East Room of the White House, really going beyond 5 rings of security? We just don't understand it. And really the rest of the story is that it really is more about a culture that is within the Secret Service in terms of their leadership. That came out today, and it's still a question that remains. How are we going to address that? How do we make sure that they have the tools necessary to protect our president?
So you were not satisfied with what the director, Julia Pearson, had to say today, were you?
Well, I wasn't satisfied because we continue to ask questions, and she was saying that it was a budget concern, it was another type of concern, and yet when we asked piercing questions, what we found is that indeed it is probable that she made some of the very decisions to reduce staffing that created this potential concern. And so why were the dogs not released? A lot of still unanswered questions that I think Americans deserve.
So where do you go from here? What can Congress do to try to fix this problem?
Well, it is a bipartisan thing. You heard Democrats and Republicans today very concerned that what we've got is an agency with a culture that must be turned around. The current director has been there for 17 months, and yet we can still see that even among some of those that showed up at the hearing today, that they acknowledge that they've got a problem. So we need to give our the tools necessary. Hearings are not enough. We're probably about to go into an executive classified session here in just a few minutes to get additional answers. But both Democrats and Republicans believe that we must resolve it because we can't afford to fail.
You heard the director say the buck stops with her. Do you want her to resign?
Well, I heard her say the buck stops with her there in the testimony, but if you watch the entire congressional hearing, most of it was dodging and darting this way and another to avoid responsibility, instead of just saying, you know, we made a mistake, it won't ever happen again, these are the 3 or 4 things that we put in place. You know, the front door was unlocked, Wolf. I mean, I don't leave my front door unlocked. How can we leave the front door of the White House unlocked?
All right, so you're not yet ready to say she should resign, but you have serious concerns. Is that the bottom line?
Well, I went into this hearing believing that, you know, just some mistakes were happening. I find it very difficult for this particular director to establish credibility, and with that, I believe that not only myself, but others will call for her resignation.
Congressman Meadows, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.